YouTube? Welcome back to another video. So as you saw in the last video, we went ahead and installed the Voxx 50th anniversary Challenger replica wheels. And as you can see, the car's aired out right now, but it is sitting inside the fender line quite a bit, front and back. When I measured it out, it was about 1/4 of an inch or so. So I ordered some spacers, leaning tower spacers right here. So I started off with 1.25s, went up to 1.5s, and then I was hoping to do away with spacers altogether with these wide body wheels, but don't get me wrong, I can stay just like that. There's nothing wrong with that fitment, it's fine. I just like a more flush fitment when the car's upright. So that's just, preference really. I'm selling all these guys, and they're good spacers, they're hub centric. They're the bolt-on style. I know a lot of people are really anti-spacers, and I kind of am too. I say if you can, obviously spec out your wheels so you don't need spacers. I am having a custom 3-piece set made for the Challenger wide body, so I'm not going to need spacers long term. I always say spacers are kind of a short-term solution, if you really want a fitment that you're trying to get, which is kind of where I'm at right now. So I was able to remove the big spacers when I took off my old wheels, but like I said, these are sitting inside the fender line a little bit, so I want to just pull them out some. So I have some 15mm spacers, and I have some 12s on the way. The 12s aren't the bolt-on style, they're thinner than this, but they are also hub centric. So, but like I said, I really like these wheels. I love these wheels. These are my day-to-day wheels, and I just want to get a little better fitment. I don't drag the car or drag race the car or anything. This is mostly a car show thing, and I don't really drive it that hard. Sometimes I do, but it's not like I'm doing digs or racing people on the streets and shit. So if you're doing that kind of stuff, I would say maybe avoid spacers, especially the larger ones. But like I said, these aren't bad spacers. These are good spacers as far as spacers go. And these ones aren't really that big. And the 12s are even smaller than that. So I'm not going to try to go crazy on spacer. The whole reason I went wide body wheels was to eliminate spacers, or try to eliminate spacers. And I like I said, I could leave it alone right now, but I really want a closer to flush fitment. So this isn't a dramatic spacer. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this on, hopefully call it good. And everybody for the most part is kind of anti-spacers, and I get it, but to each their own. It's more about purchasing a good spacer, making sure if you are buying a spacer, make sure they are hub centric, which means they have the ring for your rim, and then another ring on the inside from the car. If you're getting a large enough spacer like these are, make sure they have the bolts, and then make sure the holes themselves clear your wheel studs once you're putting these on the car. Some rims actually have the opening on the back of the wheel for the excess wheel stud, which I'll take mine off and show you. Those are just a couple of important things to keep in mind. But like I said, wheels or spacers aren't really a long-term fix. They're more of a temporary fix. But a lot of people hate spacers, and I get it. But I feel comfortable with my car knowing the way I drive it, with a spacer this size, and I was fine with those spacers even. But I don't really need nothing that large anymore. So all right, so spacer's on, as you can see. Real thin guy, nothing crazy. I already got the bolts on there, I just got to torque them down. But as you can see, these are the stock studs, and you see how far those pop out there. So if you wanted to, depending on your rims, sometimes you have to actually cut the studs off on those bigger spacers. And even that, because I had the variant rims, I didn't have to. The rims actually had inserts. So if you look at this rim, so my normal stud will come through here, and then these stock stubbies will sit inside these openings right here. So as long as these aren't making contact way down in there, you won't have any issues. But you absolutely want to make sure the rim sits flush against this spacer, and make sure that way, see, that's torqued down. So So let me go ahead and torque this down so that I can put the rim on, and then we'll see where we're looking. All right, so just got the first one on there. Looks, in my opinion, really good. You can see the tire just inside that fender line. So, see that? That's like money, if you ask me. Let me show you the other side by comparison. See that over there? And I'm like the same position on either side of the car. Go back over here. Yeah, that's fantastic. Fantastic. You can see the tire will go right up inside there, nice and perfectly. So, and then the spacer is right there, and as you can see, the wheel is flush up against it. There is no, you really want to make sure there's no obviously gap between your hub, your spacer, and your wheel. You want that to be all nice and, you know, touching each other. That way you know there's good contact. And then the torque specs on these, I would consult, you know, the spacer company that you got yours from. That looks really good. You can see the tire just pokes, man, right on the side of the flare. And I did get my rock guards put on the rears. I still got to put the fronts on. But yeah, so let me go ahead and get this front one going, show you what that looks like. All right, just finished the front spacer. And you can see that's just inside the fender line. It pops out pretty far though, like up here on the front. That's crazy. So that might be too aggressive for the front. I put my ZL1 add-ons rock guard on there too, because I did not want that wheel all the way out with no rock guards. You can see how far it pokes. So this is this side with spacers on both fronts, and then that front versus this front, no spacers. I like it, but I'm not sure if this one's gonna be too aggressive for the front, so let me air the car out, see how it is. I'm gonna do it slowly, so I'll pick this up in a few. I'm just gonna watch all the angles. I might have to put a 12 up front, 15s in the back, but let's see. I'll get back to you in a sec. Okay, so here's the car, aired out. Almost aired out. I found that I was making some contact on this front wheel. So, back's fine. I mean, this used to hit on the bracket right in there. You can see that. So it hits the same. But it doesn't hit like that bad, I guess. The rest of the clearance is fine all the way around. I'm hitting a little bit more on this front one, on the Vicrez bracket, right in, I don't know if you can see that. See that bracket? So if you got an OEM wide body, you don't have to worry about this, but because I have the Vicrez wide body, that bracket right there attaches the flare to the fender, and I could probably do away with it since mine's bolted down all the way around. But I'm not trying to get that involved into this right now. It's late, so yeah, I noticed that it's hitting there, and then ever so slightly on this side, but this one's not as big of a deal because actually I have to cut some of this plastic off of the flare. I just haven't done it. I got to make it flush with the bracket there. But this one for sure is a bigger issue because I don't want it to put too much pressure on this flare. I was aired out and I saw that contact, so then I upped it to 57 on that wheel. So I'm gonna leave it like that for now, and then I'm just gonna set my maximum lowered pressure for the front to be 57. All right, so we are done for the night. All the spaces are on. That is the new aired out. Look there. Much more filled out. That looks really good. See the tire poke on the front there. Very nice. And front is good as well. And I went ahead and put the rock guard in here for this one. And I found actually my spacing's fine. So I'm gonna leave these spacers in. You see the huge space I have between the tire and the flare there. This one clears just fine, which means the other side is gonna clear just fine. See, I got plenty of space to air out. And the tire only comes down to about here. So I'll have enough space. I already aired it down, and this side barely touched it, but it wasn't pressure. What I found is that on this side, I have to trim the plastic down some more. I don't have them even. You see how that one's long? So that's my main issue. The tab is a little bit longer on this side, and that flare is a little bit longer. So I'm gonna cut those tomorrow with a Dremel or my cutting tool. But this is gonna be the end result. I'm gonna be fine with these spacers. So these are the 15mm spacers on the Voxx 50th anniversary 20 by 10.5 with the -9 offset. So I am very happy with this look. And but that's about it. Just wanted to give you a little bit of an update as to the spacer situation. So like I said, spacers aren't for everybody. And even now I'm like, you know, I'd say don't do spacers if you don't have to, but like I said, these are my day-to-day wheels, and I feel comfortable with these having spacers on them. I want to have that you know, that good stance when it's cruising and stuff. So but yeah, to each their own. You know, like I said, don't do what I do. I don't know everything about spacers or cars or nothing, but I got common sense, and a lot of this is just common sense. So but that's it for tonight. Appreciate you watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.